NuCedar PVC Siding is designed to replicate the look of real traditional wood. We have a patented brushing technique which will give each piece a different color and shading. However, if you would like a more consistent look, you can get our smooth texture. Our NuCedar Clapboard comes in 3 different exposures, 4, 6, and 8. All of our product has a factory-coated PBG coating. It is a waterborne acrylic urethane formula which has a heat reflective value to it. Like all PVC products, our product will expand and contract due to the temperature and sun exposure at any given time. Please follow these instructions that we outline in this video to make sure that your product has the best performance possible. NuCedar Clapboard Siding can be installed just like wood siding. You can even use the same woodworking tools. To get started, you might want to make sure that you have some of these items available. Hot galvanized roofing nails or exterior ring shank nails not less than 1.25 inches long. These will be used for the Z-clips and starter strips. You will also need some trim fasteners. We recommend Starborn Pro Plug System or Starborn Head Coat. A hammer, a screwdriver, measuring tape, a saw, also acrylic or UV resistant caulk such as Fill and Flex, which will be used for the trim joints. Material that you will need for your clapboard system are 10-foot starter strips, 22-inch Z-clips, universal trim and corners, header trim, methacrylate kits, and touch-up paint. You will want to store your product on a flat surface in a shady area. Do not store it anywhere where the ambient temperature exceeds 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Some examples are over blacktop or under black tarps. The finish on our product takes 30 to 90 days to fully cure. Our baked-on finish allows you to handle and install the product, but please do not abuse it. We recommend that 2 people carry on each edge to minimize damage. Ensure that your wall openings and penetrations are properly flashed in accordance with the local building codes and window and door manufacturers' flashing recommendations. NuCedar needs to be installed over a solid flat surface, such as OSB or plywood. Do not install over open framing. Our siding is not a watertight barrier. We recommend installing a weather-resistant barrier over the top of the sheathing. Do not install the siding if it's not properly colored on its face. Inspect the product before installing onto the wall for both coating and general appearance. Now you want to calculate the number of boards to be installed. First, you need to measure your square footage of the area to be covered. Take the exposure of the material chosen times the length and divide by 144. This will get you your square foot of the board. Now take your square foot area and divide it by the square foot of the board to get the number of boards that you will need to complete the area. For example, if you need to cover 420 square feet and you are using a 4-inch clapboard, 4 times 192 inches divided by 144 equals 5.33 square feet. 420 square feet area divided by 5.333 equals 78.75 boards. You will need 79 boards to cover this area. When installing your NuCedar clapboard, you will want to install the clapboard before the trim. However, you still need to do your vertical chalk lines to outline where your trim will be. To do that, you should have received some universal trim and corners for your clapboard system. Cut a small piece out of your universal trim. On the back side will show a chalk line that you can use as your storyboard. Before your first course of clapboard, you'll need to install an aluminum 10-foot starter strip. In order to do that, you need to measure how much you need. Measure the linear foot around the bottom of your house, and if you're installing any clapboard above the roof line. Next, fasten the starter strip every 8 inches into every available stud. You'll want to keep a 1/2 inch gap for where the trim's going to sit and a 1/4 inch gap in between each starter strip. As mentioned before, our clapboard will expand and contract with the weather. You do not want to restrict the movement of the clapboard. Therefore, you will be fastening your Z-clip to the wall and hanging your clapboard from the Z-clip. This will allow the material to float on the wall and move with the expansion and contraction. The outside temperature when you're installing will determine where on the chalk line you will end your clapboard. If temperatures exceed 85 degrees, you will extend the clapboard a 1/4 inch past the chalk line. For temperatures of 50 degrees or lower, you will want to position your clapboard a 1/4 inch short of the chalk line. Any temperatures in between, you can line up the clapboard on the chalk line. Now you can begin installing your clapboard. Put your first course over your starter strip. You'll want to attach your Z-clips to the clapboard. For every 16-foot board, you'll have 6 Z-clips. Space them out evenly across 2 studs. You do not want to overdrive the nails and disfigure the Z-clip. Doing this will disfigure the clapboard and could cause it to buckle down the road. As mentioned, your clapboard is 16 foot long. However, the run on your house may be longer. You will want to have a joint. For our clapboard, you want to butt your joints together. In your package of your clapboard system should have been included a methacrylate kit. In this kit has bonding plates, mixing sticks, adhesive, and also installation instructions. You may need to cut the ends of your board to get a square cut edge. You can use the supplied touch-up paint to touch up any areas necessary. Apply a thick coating of trim welder onto your bonding plate using the mixing sticks provided. You will want a thick coating over the whole entire bonding plate. A single tube of trim welder should cover at least 5 bonding plates. Once you're finished applying the adhesive, you want to quickly put the bonding plate behind the clapboard. Lift the clapboard from the top and slide behind. Once that's in place, hold the clapboard in place for at least 1 minute while the adhesive cures. 4-inch clapboard will receive 1 bonding plate per joint. However, your 6 and 8-inch clapboard, you will want 2 per board. Plan your layout prior to installation. You will want to stagger your butt joints and make sure to avoid butt joints below and above windows and doors. Position your clapboard on the wall and have your butt joints tight. You can fasten your clips above the clapboard. Make sure you leave 24 inches on both sides of the butt joints available without a clip. Eventually, you will put a clip over top of the butt joint. You will want to pin the clapboard in the middle of each run. This will allow the clapboard to expand outward evenly. If your run is longer than 40 feet, you will need to use an expansion joint. For inside corners, you will use 2 pieces of universal trim. You'll miter the sides and use adhesive in the joints. You can also use universal trim for rakes. Standard trim can be used for fascia, soffits, and frieze. Never butt clapboard up against a standard trim. You will want to use header trim above all windows and doors. Installing clapboard under any window or door, you will want to rabbet out trim for the bottom of the window. You will also need to cut your clapboard so it fits accordingly. This will allow the product to still expand and contract. When using the header trim above a window or door, you will want to cut an expansion channel to match the universal trim that will be used as the side casing. When lining up your clapboard with the header trim, you may need to notch out part of the clapboard to fit into the header trim. You'll also want to make sure that it does not go past your vertical chalk line. For areas such as light blocks, downspouts, faucet pipes, or anything similar, you will need to rat out your own J-block. Also, make sure you leave a minimum clearance of a 1/2 inch between the clapboard and the fixed vertical surface. For long runs, a scarf joint will give you the best looking joint and allow for expansion and contraction. Fasten trim using the recommended schedule. Along the length, no farther apart than 12 inches, no more than 2 inches from the end of the board. Along the width, no farther apart than 4 inches, and do not nail through the trim board expansion channel. Visit our trim installation guides and videos for the best practices on how to install our trim. All of your standard color siding and trim should have touch-up paint included. Please touch up all of the planed, cut edges and any damaged edges that you had from installation. You can also use a high-grade exterior latex paint found at your local paint store. You can get a color match by taking your product in and having them virtually scan the product. To safely clean your NuCedar product, a mixture of warm water and mild detergent or a household cleaner should work great. To remove any mold or mildew, you can use a mild commercial mold or mildew remover. We do not recommend using a pressure washer. It could ruin the rough-on texture of your product. Now that you've installed your NuCedar siding, you can enjoy your house with minimal maintenance for years to come. Visit our website at jainbuildingproducts.com for any more questions on the NuCedar siding and trim.